Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with Inside the U, here to talk about the Miami Hurricanes basketball team as they face number 16 Louisville, who sits atop the ACC standings with a 4-0 record, 9-1 overall. Miami is struggling, 5-6 overall, 1-5 in the ACC. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the game, matchups to watch, players to watch, and other things that are going on with this game. So first off, starting with Miami, the biggest news that's going on with Miami is who is going to play tonight. The biggest thing is Chris Lykes. Kameron McGusty, and Dane Gak all missed last game. Chris Lykes has missed the last 9 games with a left ankle injury. He did return to practice this week, but we will see if he's going to make his return to the court. I think if Chris does return, it adds a huge boost to the offense because Chris can score at different levels with the offense. He can score going to the rim, he can knock down three-pointers, and he has a mid-range game as well. And I think his aggressiveness and also just his experience would be very helpful for a team that's struggling right now, particularly on the offensive end, finding different scores, and they have struggled mightily behind the three-point arc. And I think that would definitely help if Chris does return, or when he does return. I think they'll be able to knock down more threes. They'll be able to have a better offensive game plan, particularly in the half court. I think just adding his piece would be such an upgrade of what they have going on right now. And I think with that also, Kameron McGusty has missed, he's missed the last 3 games. He played against Clemson. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, and then Coach Larinaga actually revealed that he ended up having an injection that knocked him out 10 days at a minimum after that Clemson game to help with the irritation there. So we'll see if Cam, he's not as far along as Lykes is in terms of his return, but we will see if Cam can get out there definitely soon, if not against Louisville. And I think what stands out to me with McGusty is also a guy that can knock down three-pointers, but he's also a 6'5" guard that can defend on the other end. And he has also a lot of experience as well, playing at Oklahoma and obviously last year in the ACC with Miami. And I think one thing that stands out to me also is that looking at some analytics, McGusty in a 5-man lineup, McGusty ranks in the top 5 of the top 6 lineups Miami has had this year. McGusty ranks in there 5 times. So basically, when he's on the court, Miami's been very good. So look for that in terms of whenever he does return, them also getting a boost with their offense. Dane Gak is a guy that dealt, you guys have known with him with the knee injuries the last couple years. So he's dealing with sore knees, and that's probably, if I had to guess, that's going to kind of continue throughout the year. But he did miss last game. Coach Larinaga mentioned he's going to get treatment next week, and then they'll reevaluate and just kind of see where he's at. But basically just try to get him some more aid there. But, he's a guy that I think very highly of in terms of his minutes. I think he's a guy that even if he's playing 10 to 20 minutes a game, I think that helps their front court rotation with what they have going on. He's got great length, and I think his offensive skills, he has enough to either get putbacks or just, short shots close to the rim, I think would be a benefit to the offense as well. So missing those 3 guys has been difficult, particularly with McGusty and Lykes, and also with those 2 guys. And I found it interesting that Coach Larinaga actually said those are his best 2 scorers on the team. So Isaiah Wong averaging over 16 a game. He's had some really big games this year. And I understand why Larinaga would say that in terms of their experience. And I think with Isaiah Wong, starting with him, because he's going to have a huge matchup against Carlik Jones and David Johnson at Louisville. And Isaiah, what we're seeing is there's definitely been added attention from teams with his start to the season. And I think that kind of makes things a little bit more difficult. But what he does well is he rocks it back and forth left to right. He can go to the rim, finish at the rim. He likes to go to his right quite a bit, but he can also, he will take shots either mid-range and he'll sprinkle in some threes, but he's just not that natural three-point shooter that you're looking for right now, shooting under 30%. So you'd like for that to pick up, but his strengths are very strong and he can use that to his advantage. And I like that he has the scorer's mentality. There's no doubt about it. Certainly I think he's been improving in terms of driving to the lane and kicking out to his shooters or kicking out to other teammates. He's improving in that, but his natural ability is to be a scorer. He did a great job scoring in high school. Put up some really big numbers, and I think you're seeing that translate, and he's continuing to build on what he did as a sophomore. So Isaiah Wong is where it starts Miami offensively with Lykes and McGusty out. I think also Harlan Beverly's a guy to watch for offensively. Again, the efficiency numbers, the shooting numbers are down. I know he was dealing with the back injury a little bit earlier in the season, kind of playing through it. and that could have affected some of his numbers. But the thing that Harlan brings you is a lot of ability to do other things. He can rebound the ball really well. He's looking for his teammates for assists. He gets steals and can block shots for a defender at the guard position. Again, if Wong is going to guard Carlik Jones, who their top scorer, I think they're the best player, although David Johnson's a very good player, and I think they've got the best backcourt in the ACC. And David Johnson's a 6'5 guard, came up last year as a freshman, athletic guy, didn't shoot the three ball very much, gets a lot of his buckets going to the rim, using his athleticism. If you haven't seen him yet, he's a guy that can, finish on an alley-oop. So he's a lot of fun to watch if you're a Louisville fan or a fan of basketball. But I think Harlan Beverly is going to have to take that matchup with David Johnson and really pay attention to him and his scoring ability, because Johnson's been shooting the ball a lot better, shooting the ball from three. His attempts are up and his percentages are up. So he's becoming an all-around threat. And I think it'll be a tough matchup for Miami. Then going on to Louisville, sticking with Louisville a little bit, Samuel Williamson's a guy, he kind of plays that three-man role, but they can also go small ball lineup and drop down to either that 4 spot or even a 5 that Larinaga maybe sees happening in the game. And if that happens, it'll be interesting to see how Miami matches up. They've done it earlier this year where they did go to a true small ball lineup with Earl Timberlake, who stands 6'5", playing that 5-man spot. So they've done it already this year, so that gives them some experience if they need to do it again. Timberlake on Williamson, or if you want to do the length with Anthony Walker, might be a key guy on Williamson, depending on where he's playing. And also depends on how Anthony Walker's playing, particularly on the offensive end, if he's worthy of getting all the minutes he needs to be effective and play a full game and either guard Williamson or kind of slot or move around. And I think Williamson, the reason with Walker, the reason why I like him on Williamson is because his athleticism, but he's a guy that can play the 3-4 or a 5 spot for Miami, and basically you can counter whatever Louisville's doing with Walker. Again, Walker's got to be playing well to earn those minutes. So those are some things to watch for. Again, Miami likes to run the man-to-man defense. They did break out the 2-3 zone last game against Boston College. And that's kind of their secondary half-court defense, but basically Miami wants to run man, so you're looking at matchups with this, kind of stacking up against Louisville, who's been very good, and those are the kind of their 3 guys. They got Jones, Johnson, and Williamson, but they've got some other guys that you've got to keep an eye on with Withers. I think Dre Davis is a very interesting player. I think you're going to be hearing a lot about him moving forward in his career. Only a freshman, but he's been productive so far, and it gives them, once again, more versatility with their lineup. So watch for those guys. They even have Charles Medlin coming back. I know Louisville fans have been excited about him. 6'4 guard, a very productive guard out of San Francisco. So definitely keep an eye on him, even though he's only played 1 game, limited minutes, but he could be a guy that could be a threat as well. So those are kind of the things to watch for with Miami. The injuries, also talking about some of these matchups, you're definitely looking for Miami to have another good game, or a good game from Nysier Brooks, the center. Things that are interesting to watch for with Brooks, and you saw it last week or last game against Boston College, getting Brooks involved offensively, running set plays. They ran the horns play, dumped it down to him those first few possessions, got a bucket. So maybe they're going to try to get him more involved, but basically Brooks is a guy that has to get on the offensive glass, kind of create offense for himself, get open, flash through the lane, basically just kind of get open and finish at the rim. They definitely need his presence. They definitely need to score, not just against Louisville, but just throughout the season. They need that extra punch in the lane, in addition to all the scoring they're getting from their guards. So those are some things to watch for. You can definitely check out InsideTheU.com for a live game thread. We'll be discussing the game, talking more about lineups, starting lineups. If you have any questions, drop it on there, or you can drop it on the comments below here. But definitely appreciate everybody for watching. Should be an exciting game in terms of it's a big time game for Miami. Once again, 1-5 in the ACC. A win over Louisville would be big, but certainly, like Jim Larinaga said, it's going to be a big challenge, and it certainly will be. So it'll be tough, but Miami's got to play well. We'll see how things work out. Thanks again for watching. Take care. You can find me on Twitter at InsideTheU, or just check out the website. Appreciate everybody. Be sure to like if you like this channel and subscribe as well. Thank you.